feel funny. I feel like all flustered now because I haven't done this in a few weeks. I feel embarrassed because you're my friend. I feel embarrassed. Like, if it's anyone else,
Stop feeling embarrassed. That should make you less embarrassed.
I know, but it's weird. I feel like you're going to go back and go, oh, we won't believe what Nick did tonight. He said,
It might be the other way around. I'm like, Keshini,
yeah. Do you know what Nick said? He said, hello, welcome back to Are You Creative, the podcast for creativity in and around Essex. I'm here again with Sangita. She's back from holiday, still horizontal, still got a cocktail in her hand.
Absolutely.
Fresh off the beach. And we will cue the funky music. Here we go. We have a little intro music. Okay. Yay! So we're here at... We're here at City Sound in Chelmsford again for more of Are You Creative? Sangita's with me. Say hello.
Hello.
Oh, he's sounding beautiful. Yeah, still there with a cocktail in your hand. Where have you been?
I've been to Barbados, so I'm still in Bayesian timing, I'm afraid.
You still get your sandals on, I see. Beautiful. And we have got another amazing guest here. We're going to talk to you about creativity. So, Sangita, who is not creative, are you creative?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you are. Sangita's learning all about creativity, and we're meeting different creative people every time and finding out about what they do and seeing if that sort of thing is something that tickles Sangita's creative interest. Maybe something you want to do or something you're interested in. And look at our guest we've got today. We've got Kesh in today. Now look at Kesh. You say hello, by the way, Kesh.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, listen to that. So that's Kesh, that is. So, Sangita, look at Kesh. What do you think she does?
Okay, so looking at Kesh, I'm going to go with... Now, she looks like a teacher.
Okay, interesting. All right.
I'm going to go with teacher.
I don't know if that's is that a diss or is
No. As it could be an art teacher, but you look like a teacher.
I think if Kesh was a teacher, she'd be one of the cool teachers.
Yeah, 100% she would be.
A teacher's allowed to wear this much leopard.
Well, actually, maybe I'm wishing she's a teacher, actually. That could be.
I think teachers now, I think, if I was a teacher, I would definitely be the cool teacher. I'd have like the space for all the kids to hang out in the class. So do we say if that's right or not?
Well, what I want to know is, how do you say your surname? Naidoo.
Keshini, Naidoo.
Keshini, Naidoo?
Yeah.
Are you creative?
I think I am creative. I would say that I'm probably more creative adjacent. I do very creative things in my job. And I work with a lot of creatives, if that's giving you any clue.
Do you know what? It's not Guess Who now. You can just say what you do.
Okay.
And actually, you are creative because that's why I've invited you here. Because I know you are.
Okay.
Because I know you are.
An art teacher.
Yeah. So go on. You can why do you not tell us or tell Sangita? Because I know what you do.
Yeah.
I think I know what you do anyway.
I think you might find out what I do right now. Hey?
Exactly.
So I am a publishing director and a co-founder of a publishing company, a book publishing company. So I have worked with books pretty much since my early 20s. And actually before that, I was working at bookshops and always been involved with books. So yes, I suppose I am creative. I don't write the books, but I do pretty much everything else around that to get them to publication and get the books on the shelves that you see. It's somebody like me who puts them there.
You've got to know what a good book is, right?
I absolutely have to know what a
So
good
you can
book
write
is.
one in your brain.
Yeah, but you know what? I know a lot of people who work in publishing who do write books, and I don't know how they do it because I spend my time telling people what a bad sentence is, that it would probably be really difficult for me to write the first sentence because I'd probably be like, that's not very good. Oh, God, scrap it. No, that's not great. I'm really, really good at seeing the good in other people's books and making them better, I think, if that doesn't sound too... kind of full of myself to say.
It is what it is. So then, Keshini, can I ask, what got you into what it is you do, your publishing stuff? How did you get interested in it?
So I have always been a reader. I was a classic kid who loved books, was always, kind of living in the world of books, could read before I went to school, absolutely loved it. I wanted to work in books, but for a long time, publishing was incredibly middle class, incredibly white. So never really thought it would be something for somebody like me. I did a degree in English, really, that was never going to be not on the cards. I was always going to do a degree in English, did a degree in English, really wanted to work in publishing, didn't know the first thing around it. It was really kind of full of Nepo babies as well. Like a lot of people would go, oh, well, my somebody's grandson needs a job, so let's get them out, to have a little job.
Let's talk about Nepo babies. So like little Tarquin.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, little Tarquin needs what do you sort him out? Oh, yeah, we'll put him in as publishing director.
Completely. And, and therefore you got loads of books that were written and published by lots of very white, middle-class to upper-class people. So there wasn't really any space for kind of nuance. There wasn't any space for different voices, different perspectives. So I did my English degree, really loved books, didn't really know what I was going to do, went to work at Waterstones because I love books. And I'd worked in shops. I used to work in Topshop. Felt like a really natural progression.
Which Waterstones did you work in? I think we need to picture this.
You need to picture this. So if anybody knows Leeds, I worked in the big Waterstones in Leeds because that's where I went to university. So I went to work there. It's a huge one. My nickname at the shop was Fiction Girl. Because people would come in and go, I don't know what book it is, but it's got a blue cover. And I'd go, bang, it's that one. And
do you know what? Do you know what you've done? You've just revealed your secret identity. Everyone's been talking about who is Fiction Girl. She's been solving all these literary crimes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, we're going to be in the MC universe before long. Fiction Girl is going to have her own spin-off.
I mean, they are running out of superpowers, aren't they?
Absolutely are.
There's been an increase in comma-related crimes. Call it fiction related.
Listen, if you can have an Ant-Man, you can have a Fiction Girl.
Absolutely.
Quite frankly. So yeah, working in Waterstones, surrounded by books, absolutely loved them. Still didn't know how to get into publishing. And we would have loads of authors come in to do talks. It was a really big Waterstone, so we'd have everybody. I met Jeanette Winter and I met Irving Welch, Anthony Bourdain, like incredible people would come in. R.I.P. Rest in power, mate. And but the people who would come in with them were the people from the publishers. And the people from the publishers were the publicists. And they were all called Sarah and Jocasta. And they all had...
Jocasta. Have you made that name up?
You've never worked in publishing if you've never met a Jocasta, mate. Oh my God. Listen, Hermione's a thing before Harry Potter in publishing, mate. So the
Jocasta spell, that would be a good one for Harry Potter, wouldn't it? That should have been a better name for Harry Potter. I always thought he should have been called Alan Kazam anyway. Alan Kazam and Jocasta spell.
What was Joanne thinking? I mean, really, she absolutely missed the trick. Harry Potter, what's that?
She could have made actually a lot more money.
Absolutely. Alan, little kid called Alan. Absolutely, I can see it now.
Oh,
I mean, look, just a tip. Rowling, you can have them if you want, but might make a few quid.
Absolutely. I mean, just calm it on the anti-trans stuff. Joanne, you can have
exactly. Well, she can redo it all.
Absolutely.
and be much more diverse and inclusive.
Absolutely.
With Alan Kazam.
I think she's just start again. I don't know what's gone off with that. Yeah, sorry, we've really got off the
But this is what we get with this is what we get with a publishing director. Also, publishing director.
Publishing
director. She the red pen comes out. Sorry, Joanne.
Absolutely. What's this? Why is this?
Yeah.
Harry Potter. Might want to rethink
What's this about the flying motorbike? What are you going to bring brooms in late? Oh, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. Why doesn't he turn up on a broom then?
That's what somebody like me does.
Yeah, exactly.
Reads that bit and says, actually, no.
And actually, sorry, I know I'm going to let you talk in a minute, but this is what we do. As a publishing director, right? What would you have said to Rowling on books 5, 6, and 7?
I'd have said, these books are for children. Why the hell have you written something approaching the word count of the Bible?
Exactly.
How do you expect children to read this, Joanne?
And is Horcrux a word that a child will like?
Yeah. Also, Joanne, do you know how much bloody paper and printing costs? You want me to print up these kids' books? And there are, 1,000 pages long. What's wrong with you?
How much rainforest? Do you reckon Peru is just barren because of Harry Potter?
Probably.
Absolutely.
Because, here you go, look, segue. You do digital publishing, don't you?
I do digital publishing as well as print publishing, but I will let you into a secret. I sell way more print books than I do digital.
Yeah?
Which is not what I expected when we set up this company, I'll be honest with you. So... obviously, for years, there's been a real ebook revolution, and everyone's got a Kindle, and everyone's really excited about it. And in the pandemic, when all the bookshops were shut, was the golden age of the ebook. We sold buckets and buckets of ebooks because people were bored, people were furloughed, they were at home, they wanted something to read. Now, I'm really happy to say print is back. We worked really, really hard on print. Hardbacks are back. We worked really hard on making those gorgeous because, 2 words, TikTok. TikTok girlies.
No, 2 words, BookTok.
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 BookTok girlies don't like ebooks. BookTok girlies want to hold up a really gorgeous book and show it to people and go through all the prints. So we worked really bloody hard on it. We worked really hard to like make that really comfortable, really sexy, really something that you want to be proud to kind of see. And I'm really excited about that. I guess it's a bit like the massive rise of vinyl, and I hear the cassettes are coming back. You know, people want that kind of analog reading. I think we live in a really digital age, and sometimes you just don't want to be digital with your reading.
I think that's what's becoming like bits are becoming atoms again. People want like things, you know, it's like archives. So on Netflix, they can just delete a film and you'll never be able to watch it again. You need a DVD or you need something. You need a record of it, right? And it's so nice giving a physical book to a friend.
Totally.
Right? Say, read this, or leaving it in the local library. Where you live, you've got like there's a little phone box library, isn't there?
We have got a phone box library.
Do you ever dump any of your old stock in there?
I do sometimes put some of. I don't call it dumping my own stock.
No, old stock. Dumping some vintage stock.
I call it passing a piece of art on for somebody else to enjoy.
I noticed there were just Hera books just spilling out of it. Hera's Kesh's company.
Our company, we are named after the goddess of women because me and my co-founder are women, and the thing about publishing is it's incredibly female until you get to the sausage fest in the boardroom. So we, going back to when I first entered into this industry, and my MD at the time at HarperCollins was a lady, and we, I kind of came in and there were lots of women who were in top positions. And then as we got further and further up the tree, we were like, oh, we seem to be hitting a glass ceiling. And how is that when this is such a female-led industry? So when me and Lindsay Mooney, my co-founder, set up the company, we were very much, it's a female-led company. We are going to publish some men if we have to, but the goddess of women here seems to be the ideal name for us. So we were really thrilled, and we kind of came up with that title.
Also sounds a bit like She-Ra.
She-Ra,
which is amazing.
Which is, obviously
right.
another, consideration.
Every time you sign a new offer, you raise the sword and lightning strikes it. Or probably like a pen, right?
Why has nobody bought me a sword? I should have asked for
Arnold
a sword.
Schwarzenegger's got one in his office behind him. He's got his Conan sword.
Has he?
You should get one, yeah.
Clearly.
Hee-rah.
Clearly should buy a sword.
We shall get you a sword.
Thank you so much.
We will get you
I
a
should have
sword.
asked for that on the ride, shouldn't
Fiction
I?
girl. She's got a sword and sharpened commas.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask a really silly question.
No.
Do you read all the books you publish?
Absolutely.
You
have
do?
to read all the books published. Yeah, that's it. So I have 2 amazing women that work with me. They also edit. So I might not necessarily have to read the books that they publish, but certainly the ones that I'm publishing, I absolutely have to read. And I will often read the books that they publish as well because, I kind of started the company and we want to make sure that we're really staying true to our kind of commissioning strategy and our guiding principle. So our guiding principle is unashamedly commercial, always inclusive, because I've been in this industry for decades now. I know I look so young, I can't believe it. But, like I say, when I started, everybody was white, super middle class. I was incredibly exotic. I used to laugh and say, oh my God, you're probably going to get a grant from the council for employing me. Not only am I brown, but I'm northern. I'm from a working class town. So I was really, listen, there's no shortage of people from, black and minority ethnic, backgrounds, no shortage of LGBTQ writers or people with chronic illness. But for years and years and years, it seemed to be like, oh, those people end up on the booker list. But all the things that sell in mass volume that people really are excited about, that are, entertained by, they're all completely straight and white. So I used to say, well, where's the queer rom-coms? And where are the black British detectives? And where's the kind of Asian psychological thrillers? I'm happy to say that I'd say in about the last 3-4 years, things have really, really changed. But, you know, when we set up this company, when we started talking about it in 2017, it was something that we were completely wedded to, because I was really bored of, you know, reading books with girls sat in monsoon season in India watching the water drip off the leaves of the mango tree. And
Hang on, I'm just writing this down. This is the first sentence of my book. Yeah?
It's a no.
What
I'm so
happens
sorry,
next?
Nick.
What happens next? Oh, the man comes out of the water with a snorkel, right? Oh, look at him. He's Jeremy Bond. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Your book's great, but it's not for me. Thanks.
Do you feel like Hera's... It's Hera, isn't it? It's like Hera.
I say
I've got Hera in my head now.
I
because
say
of She-Ra.
Hera, but it's all right. Lots of people say
Do you
Hera.
think Hera's moved the needle then? Like, you're part of that shift in the industry?
I'd like to think that we absolutely are, because, you know, as I say, when we started talking about this in 2017, 2018, it wasn't really a thing. It's now absolutely a thing. And things like, you know, Queenie, Yellowface, you know, they are mass market, commercial, entertaining books. But before that, it would be like, oh, go to the Booker list. And, you know, Written to Mysteries won it. Amazing. How many people are going to buy that? Not very many. I was just really bored with it. I'd worked in commercial fiction all my life. I'm really committed to commercial fiction. I'm committed to lots of people. You know, you don't have to be like super educated. Everybody deserves to see themselves, get books as entertainment, and everybody deserves to see themselves represented in a book. So for me, you know, I'm a child of immigrants, I'm northern, I love horror movies and drag queens, and I want somebody like me to kind of go, yes, I'm part of a book, I'm part of a world, and that's something that we are really, really committed to.
So when you get books in, right,
Yeah.
and you probably get, I don't know, you probably get like 50 dropped on your desk every day, right? But
We get a lot
Yeah.
dropped on the desk. We get a lot.
how do you often, like, you know, I suppose people are like cold calling a bit. You haven't heard of them.
Yeah.
How do you know it's a good one? Like straight, you know, because you're not going to be able to read every single book. Can you?
I think, you know, after years and years, and don't forget, like, before I entered the industry, I was like an avid reader, you know, multiple books a week. So I think, what a good book is.
Yeah.
Like, and that doesn't mean to say it has to be perfectly written. Sometimes I will read a book and go, yeah, the germ of the idea is there. Everything else around it needs to be worked on, but I can work on that with you. I'm not afraid to, you know, some of my authors get 20 pages of edits. I'm not had that many people cry on me, but you know,
Just a few notes. The notes are bigger than your book.
and then I send them a Bible full of like this.
But for me, I read a lot of books as well.
Brilliant.
And I always thought I could tell if I liked a book like really quickly. And then I read As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner, right? So I go a bit highbrow here.
Yeah.
And I thought it was rubbish, right?
Okay.
Until pretty much the second last page when something happened, and I was like, "Oh my god, that is brilliant!" It had me.
But what changed
away.
your? Okay, so you thought it was rubbish.
It had fooled me.
So did you not like the writing style?
Oh no, I liked it, but I really hated the protagonist. And then something happened at the end, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And it was a rug pull, but it was because it's from the 20s or something.
Yeah?
I didn't think it'd be that sophisticated, and I was like, "Oh my god, you got me!" It was a bit like felt a bit like a Coen Brothers film or something.
Amazing.
And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to give up on books now, because before then I'd probably get halfway through and I think if I didn't like it, I'd abandon it, because it's a lot of time to commit.
It is a hell of a lot of time, and actually, I'm really quite impressed that you carried on, because
it was a book club book. I had to carry on.
Oh, so you had to.
I had to carry on.
Oh, I've read some shockers for book clubs.
I know, me too. I really gave up because a few after that, because I was like, do you know what? I'm not reading for pleasure anymore.
Yeah, you read because you have to.
Yeah, and that's when I started reading Alan Kazam.
Okay.
And you know, like some other books, and I realised, actually, do you know what? I'm going to read a sword fighting book in between.
Absolutely.
In between every highbrow book I read.
Completely.
Yeah.
But then again, you feel like you need to read a highbrow book. Why? Every book is valid. Every book is a piece of art. Whether it's a book that's, you know, I always say when we were setting up, I was very honest. These books have got to combat, you know, Netflix, the radio, streaming, YouTube. Like, if I'm just sitting there going, oh, well, it's got to absolutely enrich you and you've got to take away something from it. No, because it's a piece of art, but it's a piece of entertainment. And if you're not entertaining and making that person want to turn the pages, you haven't done your job. I haven't done my job as a publisher. You haven't done your job as an author. So that's how I see art. And look, there's lots of different kinds of books out there. But I'm impressed that you finished it, because for me, I'm just like, nah, it's not.
I'm a completist.
Okay.
I'm a complete something else as well. But
This is quite interesting for me, and I'll tell you why. I'm not the book reader, but one of my directors, she is. I know that they have tried a lot around encouraging more black minority ethnic authors, writers, and I think a couple of years ago, when she was looking at why we don't get so many authors commissioned, etc., etc., she was also saying that there is this thing around not a lot of black minority ethnic families feel that is a profession.
Definitely.
And it's really refreshing to meet someone like you who's in the field. So going back to your question, what was the last book that I remember reading? I was a very big fan as a kid of Enid Blyton.
Oh, wonderful.
Famous Five.
Yeah.
Loved her books.
Amazing.
Not many that I didn't read.
Yeah.
And then things like The Lion, the Witch, The Wardrobe, before the
Fantastic.
films came out.
Yeah.
Then I went through a phase where I didn't really read much. I was like a comic reader. I read loads of comics.
hey,
and
comics
stuff.
are books too.
They are
Absolutely,
books
really
too,
are.
absolutely.
I'm always say, like, yeah.
They got me through a lot, actually, as a teenager,
Definitely.
reading comics and stuff. However, now, realising, like back in the days, you remember when we used to write pen letters and we used to write letters, but now, you've got like things like our Androids and you can write
just text
emails and just
somebody.
text someone and things like that. But I like the fact that you're bringing back the reading factor, because I think that is so important, even for our young people speaking English.
Definitely.
I do find that there is a difference from someone who's not read many to those that do read books. And I just want to say I feel really fascinated. It's a privilege today to be able.
Do you know what? You're fascinated. What we're going to have now, Kesh is going to pitch you a book, right? What have you got? What have you got coming out? Let us know.
What have I got coming out?
What should Sangita read next, right? Because she's going to be on Amazon later.
Absolutely.
Actually, no, sorry. Where should people buy books from apart from Amazon?
You can buy books. You can buy them from Amazon.
Where'd you get more money?
Lots of places.
Where'd you get your more
Well, we get, if you want to buy ebooks, I could say Amazon. I
do have a Kindle, by the way.
Brilliant. Then do you know
do have a
what?
Kindle.
What I do with my Kindle, I just, every time things are like cheap, I'll just like fill up my Kindle. I will put a little plea out for Hive Books, which is online. So if you're buying something hard copy, not an ebook, I would go to Hive Books, because Hive Books, I'm not paid by them, but by the way, I'm just like passionate about them. They will get you the book like in a day or two, but what they also do is give a percentage to a independent bookshop.
Amazing.
Sick.
So it's really, really good. So even
Right, so
me,
Kesh, Sangita's going to go home, go on Hive.
Okay.
What's she going to buy?
I am going to make a pitch for one of my big books of this year, which is a book called Missy by a guy called Raghav Rao. So it's a debut writer. He's an American. We won't hold it against him. And it starts 40 years ago in Madras in India. I know I just talked about like not having things in it, but I promise you, like it starts off there. It's incredible. So there's a young woman called Savi. She is an orphan. She's in an orphanage. Mother's died of the famine, father's like nowhere to be seen. She's got big dreams, but like, what are you going to do? She's either going to be a nun or she's going to be a maid. That's what she's destined for. And then she gets taken on as a governess by a big family. So she moves to this beautiful estate out in the country. She's looking after a young boy. She's teaching him English. And she's sort of fallen in love with the young man who works at the sculptor down the road. And they're, doing incredible, sculpture and kind of Deepa Lakshmis and all that kind of thing.
But it turns out he's a vampire.
No, I do not do books about vampires.
Hang on. Okay, sorry.
No, nothing against people who do vampires, but I am strictly flesh and blood. Quite
Okay,
frankly.
Karen. That's vampires.
Not
Vampires
even
love
the
blood.
glittery vampires,
Okay.
quite frankly. We stick to flesh and blood. So anyway, one night a massive tragedy happens. I won't give it away, but
She gets bitten.
She does not get bitten
By a vampire.
There you go. So spoiler alert, she doesn't get bitten. She stays flesh and blood for the whole time.
Yeah.
And her love have to flee. They have to flee, and then we go to part 2. It's 40 years later. We pitch up in Chicago. Missy is now in her late 50s, and
Amazing.
she's fled to Chicago as an immigrant. So she's lived her life in the shadow of being found out, being deported, But she's lived a good life, you know, she's like a pillar of the community, and she's, you know, got 2 kids, and she's like actually like she's an absolute kind of ballsy woman who helps all the other immigrants who come to Chicago, and she's kind of like running these community sort of spaces. And then a young man comes into her life and everything changes.
He's a robot.
He is not a robot. Nick, again, not a spoiler alert there. Not a robot, not a vampire. But yeah, essentially it's about, although you may travel far from your homeland, it will always have a pull on you.
Yep.
It will always carry you back. You can only hide secrets so long. It's really,
nice.
I mean, it's amazing. It is so well written. It's about...
Can I ask, how did that book find its way to you?
So what happens is there's kind of... Most people in publishing get their books through literary agents. So if you were to write a book now, you could go and find a literary agent. Like, and if anybody out here is a writer who kind of wants to, you know, wonder how to get their books published, what normally happens is you will find a literary agent. The actual literary agent of this book, Priya Doraswamy, she is American, Indian, and she just sort of found my email address and came to me because, you know...
So it's a bit like a dating website. They've put you together. You're going to love this book.
Absolutely, completely.
And also the literary agent then is filtering. They're sifting through so much stuff.
They are filtering through a lot of things. They're filtering. So most people, like if anybody here like is listening, they want to write a book and they wanted to get it published, what you do is everybody gets the Writers and Artists Yearbook. You can get that from the library. You can borrow it. You can buy it. I think it's about 15 quid. That book has every literary agency in the UK listed. So you go to all the literary agents and you go, I mean, look, don't send your book to somebody. If you've written like a hard science fiction, don't send it to a literary agent who only looks after children's books. They won't even look at it. So look, or what's quite good as well is if you admire an author and you think, I'm writing the same sort of thing as they're writing, find out who their agency is. And then, it's, you know, you can usually find out stuff online, their Twitter bio, their Insta, and you can always submit to them. So what a literary agent will do is they'll get loads and loads of books, and then, you know, they'll probably get even more books than I do.
Should you give them like a hey on Twitter or like something before you do, just so they know your book's coming, or do you just
they get a lot of that, so not necessarily let your book speak for itself, I think, you know, but look, you know, when you write a covering letter, we've got to write a covering letter, like it pays to like do a little bit of research, you know. If you write to them and say, I particularly wanted to submit to your agency because you represent this person, therefore, you know, I think that you'll be a good fit for my book. So literary agents will send the book to people like me, publishers, and then we'll read them. And if we like them, then obviously we will take them on to be published. One thing that Hera does, which a lot of companies don't do, is we have direct submissions, which means that anybody in the world can write a book and send it to me.
Sangita, how about that? Should we write a book?
I don't know about you, but I've got mine written in my head already. It's coming. Never you mind. You can read all about it, Nick.
Yeah. Robo-Tindal and the High Street of Doom, and what happens is Judge Tyndall's statue comes to life. He comes possessed in a lightning storm, and he goes down to Waterstone and he destroys every book. And the only book that's left is Judge Tyndall's book that he's got on the statue, and only one person at a time can read it. It's very heavy. It's made out of metal, right? And the secret's in that book, and everyone says that's the best book I've ever read. And
it changes you forever.
It changes you forever, but what it turns you into Robo-Tindal as well.
So basically Chelmsford is overrun by Robo-Tindals.
Exactly, it's a bit like the grey goo, it's like the blob, right? So more and more people turning into Judge Tyndall, Robo-Tindal, and taking these books around, and then the book can spread more and more of the books until it takes over the world.
So it's a kind of a mind control thing.
It's crazy, but luckily there's people living on the dark side of the moon, right?
Okay.
Early explorers, Neil Armstrong's family that he left behind, and they have to come back and battle Robo-Tindal to make Chelmsford pure again for the humans. Is that good?
It might not be for me.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. So while this publisher is not the right fit for your book, I'm sure another publisher will feel differently.
Yeah.
But never give up, Nick.
The cover's really good.
I'm sure the cover, the inevitable spin-off series, and the toys and the sweets will be incredible.
It's called the Thursday Judge Club.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Here's £2 million advance. Here it is.
Judgement on Chelmsford, by the way. The Thursday Judge Club, Judgement on Chelmsford.
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Brilliant, yeah. Lucrative, piggyback on
Lucasfilm? You said Lucasfilm were interested.
I said no, but actually talking about that, Richard Osman's book is going to be a film, isn't it?
It's on Netflix.
Chris Columbus is doing it, isn't it?
Oh my God, it's going to be massive. It's got Helen Mirren and loads of other stuff. I know too much. I've never read it. What's your Thursday Murder Club? Because that is right. Listen, this is funny. My dad works in a charity shop, right? And he says charity shops, you can really tell what books are selling. It's not Da Vinci Code anymore. It's just like, stop bringing us the Thursday Murder Club. It's mad. Have you read? Maybe you should read that. Like, I'm going to watch it when it's on Netflix. But that has been a phenomenon. And actually, I think celebrity books. When I see celebrity books come out, I'm like, oh, you've just taken the place of another voice that.
This is a big thing in publishing.
But
Osman
big up
wrote
Osman.
them.
We love him.
Osman wrote them. He obviously had this idea.
This is Richard Osman, by the way, from Pointless, and he invented Big Brother and
the
stuff like
really tall, huge guy. But yeah, basically, he's written this books that you never put your, as a smaller publisher, or as any publisher, don't want to put your book out the same day as Richard Osman because Richard Osman is the only thing that will sell. So I get, a lot of submissions because...
Oh my God, it's Robo-Tindal.
Oh my God!
Robo-Tindal's
actually turned up.
Oh my God!
Yes, he's turned up. Just read his book. Just read his book. Don't look him in the eye.
I'm ordering it right now.
Yeah, don't look him in the eye, and he'll get angry. If the cone on his head starts flashing red, then we're in trouble.
He summons him by speaking his name into existence. I can't believe it.
You have to look in the mirror and say Robo-Tindal 9 times, and he'll disappear.
I'm so sorry, we didn't take your name in vain, Robo-Tindal.
It's really interesting because I was just thinking there must be so many people. They say everyone's got a book in them, right? What's the rest of the quote?
Everyone's got a book. Everyone's got a book in them. That's what they say. Everyone's got a book in them.
Isn't there a rude quote? It's like everyone's got a book in it, and most people. That's what
I will say that sometimes you might have a book in you, but please don't send it to me.
Yeah, but if people have got a book in them. They feel like they want to write it.
Yeah.
How many drafts should they do before before they sort of send it off? And should they get family and friends to read it?
Okay, so get your family and friends to read it if you want, but don't believe what they say, because I get lots of submissions and they'll say, oh my gosh, I've had feedback from my cousin's neighbour's dog's goldfish, and they say it's brilliant, it's the best book I've ever read, and I go, okay, but that doesn't really mean anything to me. I would say the big thing, and I get loads of people who go, oh, well, I don't really read in this genre, but I think that it sells. Don't do that.
Who's that, Garth Marenghi?
Well, exactly.
The only person who's written more books than they've read.
Doesn't like horror, but wants to write horror. No, but, I think a lot of people, don't look down on the genre you're in. Lots of people, we can tell a faker. We can tell if you're writing a romance because you think, oh, this is the thing that's going to sell, because that's not it. Immerse yourself in that world. Read lots of books. You need to know what a good one is to be able to write one. And, you need to understand what the tropes of those books are. Lots of people kind of come in and go, well, I've completely broken the mold. Well, that doesn't really work unless you know what mold you're breaking, know what the rules are before you start breaking them. Just, there's loads of advice out there for writers, about word counts, about, kind of how to construct a sentence. Lots of people do writing courses, and that's lovely. You don't have to do it. You don't have to spend a lot of money, Writing courses can be thousands of pounds, and you absolutely don't have to do those to be published. It's great if you do, but it's not a precursor to being published. As I say, you might worry that, I don't know, my grammar's not the best or my spelling's not the best. Spell check is your friend. But again, we can, I can look over those things. If you've got a really good, solid, innovative idea, an elevator pitch is a really important.
Robo-Tindal.
If anybody doesn't know an elevator pitch, it's the kind of one line log line. If you were to tell me what's that book about, and I have to be able to give you one punchy line about it, if you can do that, then you've got your book distilled. If people come to me and I say, what's your book about, and they go, oh, well, it's about life and love and the human condition, I'm like, well, what's the plot? Because every book is about life and love and the human condition, but what actually happens, apart from Robo-Tindal, which is not the robot condition.
So let's just talk about, an elevator pitch, because this is really it's so important in my industry as well, a high concept, right?
Definitely.
So Orphan escapes his terrible life
Yeah.
by going to a school for a magical school.
Yes.
And empowers himself, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know, something like that, right? And you'd be like, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then, that's not necessarily something you haven't read before, but it's punchy, it's distilled, and then the pleasure is in when you read it and you actually go, okay, well, this is how these things are different. And get your character right as well. Get your character right. Some people want to write a book and they haven't really got an idea of who that person is. I often say to my writers, okay, if your character, where do they go on holiday? What's their favourite drink at the pub? What kind of music do they listen to? If they can't punch back at me with they like a pina colada, they want to go to Barbados,
karaoke in a hot tub.
Karaoke in a hot tub, then you don't know your character as well as you think. And how are you going to write in that character's voice until you really inhabit that character? So, and that's not to say all characters have to be good. They don't have to be a good person. In fact, some of the best characters are people that you would just never want to meet. You would back away from them at a party. But are they interesting? Are they intriguing? Books are usually at least 85,000 words. You're asking a reader to invest enough time to spend on a journey of 85,000 words.
Wow. Must be like reading like Johnny Five from Short Circuit now, like super like 3 books especially. But like how long, I'd say probably a book takes me maybe like 12 to 14 hours maybe.
That's good though.
Yeah, but it's still a lot of time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a lot of time.
And especially if a friend's recommended a book and I read it and I'm like, oh my God, you've stitched me up here.
Yeah, exactly.
You've wasted my time. I could have been writing Robo-Tindal.
Absolutely. Well, this is what I'm saying. It's impressive that you finish it because I just go, phew, if it's not caught me, then it's not for me, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's mainly rage finishing because I'm enjoying not enjoying it. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you hate reading it.
Yeah, I hate reading it. Yeah, angrily turning it around and really folding the corners.
Spend that time on something you really love, and that would.
Yeah, but what if I love hate reading?
Well, that's fair enough. If you're getting something out of that, then that's a different ish. Then you're
I'm going to say like Sangita's going to hate read. Is she going to hate read? What's your book called?
Missy. I don't think she'll hate. No,
Missy. She's going to love it. She's going to buy like extra copies. At Christmas, everyone's getting a copy of Missy.
Everyone's getting a copy of Missy. Absolutely.
What's the cover like on that, by the way?
It's gorgeous. It's
for BookTok. Were you thinking about BookTok?
I was, and I did some advance copies for bloggers and reviewers, and we've done because it's a really bold cover with just the kind of outline of the woman. And so with the proof covers, the advance covers, this won't be the final one. We haven't even put the title on there. We've literally just got a picture, which is really kind of innovative for us because you get kind of go, oh, what's this? Because you haven't told me anything about the book, so let me turn over and let me read it. So yeah, it's really exciting. We're really, really excited for that to kind of come out. But that's kind of what you'd call a book club book. It's got like bits in there that you would discuss. It doesn't necessarily fit into romance or crime. We do a lot of crime fiction. I love crime fiction. It's what I've worked on for a long time. I do a lot of romance as well. Like we've got a really cool queer romance coming out in October about this guy in his 30s because there's a lot of queer romance, but they're often 23. Yeah. So we wanted people who were a little bit older. It's a kind of like bit of a like buttoned up guy. And years ago, his mum said to him like, if you're not married by 35, I'm going to pick your partner. And she comes knocking on his door on his 35th birthday going, Sam Carmichael, it's time. And he was like, I was 15 when I said that. Surely you don't really think that. And then she sets him up on all these dates. And it's just really fun. Oh my God,
I thought you said she's going to turn up with Robo-Tindal. and he was going to be there. She's going to like, here's your husband. He's like, please don't meet you. Read my book.
Not Robo-Tindal, no. But for some of the dates he would probably prefer to be on with Robo-Tindal.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Say, funny you should mention this book because it was roughly about 40 years ago I went to Madras. So I am I feel really spiritual that you mentioned it and that you've mentioned that place and 40 odd years ago. So I'm definitely going to.
You went to Madras 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I want you to get your red pen out, mark this book up, and send it to Kesh and say, actually, I think you'll find that wasn't happening in Madras then.
Good one. Okay.
You'll find.
You're such a stirrer.
We love it when, random people send us. I think you'll find that the A5 in Peterborough doesn't actually open between 9 to 5.
It's a fiction.
Yeah.
Do you know what makes me rage read? Well, when I'm rage reading as well, what I'm reading at the moment is a New York Times bestseller, right? So many double spaces.
That's Americans, though. If it's an American, they do weird punctuation. What's it called?
And typos. Oh, it's called Leviathan Wakes. It's the first in the Expanse.
Yeah.
It's a spaceships one. It's not swords this time.
Okay.
I'm on spaceships.
Are you
this
enjoying
time.
it?
I didn't enjoy it at the first. I didn't think the characters were clearly delineated enough. But I don't know if you thought about where they're going on holiday. But now it's kicked off. Oh yeah, I'm well into it. And also the cover was wicked. Came in a
And
nice
that's
box.
really
Yeah.
important. We work so hard. Sometimes I do 9 rounds on a cover before I pick one.
Do you know I'm an award-winning book cover designer?
Yeah, did you do you did Nikesh's?
Yeah, I did.
With the glasses?
I did
Meat
Meat Space one. Yeah, I won an award for that. Best
Amazing.
book cover design award. Yeah, that was good. So, but
That's amazing.
Imagine if you knew a book cover designer, award-winning book cover designer.
I know, imagine if I did that. Bloody hell.
Imagine if you'd never asked that person to do a book cover. I'm just saying.
I don't know if I can afford your rates, quite frankly, Nick. I know you're expensive.
It's good. I'll check them out, and I'll get when Sangita's red penned all the details. I'll mark up the cover.
Don't let me know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
On that particular book, I did find a typo in it, and I'll let the author know.
Absolutely, they love to hear that.
Yeah, it spelled a band name wrong.
Oh, that's probably the copy editor, not him.
He didn't know.
No, well,
Hopefully, he won't ever listen to this.
fingers crossed. But that means it's gone through a copy editor and a proofreader who didn't pick that up.
Have you had an AI book through yet?
No.
That is obviously AI.
If I have, I haven't commissioned it or read it or been able to tell.
By the way, listeners, I'm talking about artificial intelligence. So we're talking about like stuff like ChatGPT and stuff that people are now literally just churning out books like nonsense that they can put on Amazon and self-publish.
Yeah.
And,
However, what probably a lot of people don't know is that when you publish a book on Amazon, you have to tick a box to say that AI has not been involved in the creation of. So if people are writing books with AI, they are in breach actually of selling books on Amazon. And I think that's right because art can't be replicated by, a computer. And I get it. Obviously, AI takes in as source, lots of different pieces of art. So a lot of my authors are quite concerned that their books will be used to train AI, but certainly I don't use it. And what are we doing it for?
I know. I saw a brilliant quote the other day. It said, I wanted AI to come and not to do the art and the writing, but so I could do more washing up. I wanted the AI to come and do the washing up so I can do more art and writing.
Exactly. That's so true.
And it's just taking the fun jobs.
It totally is.
And honestly, I'm sure this podcast will be scraped. Robo-Tindal will be written by AI.
Completely.
The cover will be out. And before I know it, I'm
Nick will be
just
crying.
totally disassociated from it.
Completely.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is it.
And I've lose the IP.
You've lost it now. You didn't even put a copyright, strike on it already.
Is there any other area you're interested in that you'd like to explore or you wish you'd done?
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? Fiction Girl?
Fiction Girl. Well, I'd my, I grew up in the daisy age of rap in the late 80s.
De La
So
Soul.
I had go and see De La Soul in August, cannot wait. But yeah, I had my little rap troupe, Peanut Butter.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, when I was 8. So I would have loved to be a rapper, but...
Are you not tempted to do a bit of rap now?
Only at karaoke.
That's so good. Oh,
That
actually, I've
good.
heard about you doing.
Yeah, who hasn't?
Notorious. Was it Notorious B.I.G.? Is that one of yours?
I think I have probably done that. I probably have done
exactly.
that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
wicked.
I do like a bit of rap.
I think we should get you. Normally Georgie that comes and helps here is an MC. So
Is
we could,
he?
we could.
Listen, I can't. I would be embarrassed. So I'm not really gonna, spit some
No, we're
bars
going to
now,
have a
but
karaoke night and we want you on that stage.
I will come along. And spit some bars.
Do you know what?
until,
Some karaoke places, they got more pages in the books than some of Kesh's books.
That's what I love. No, but I have a little list on my phone. 'cause I can't be spending time through a karaoke Bible. I'm going straight for this. Yeah. Oh yeah, I take it seriously.
Have you got anyone that you can think of that people should sort of follow, look out for? Someone creative that you're really impressed with at the moment.
Oh, so in books, because I
Anything.
will say, and again, I hope that this doesn't seem like a plug, but the Hero Books TikTok account, which is not run by me, which is run by the incredible woman who works with me, is amazing. We have really interesting things on there, really fun videos, just, looks at internet trends. Like recently, we've got a book out at the minute called Estella's Revenge, which is a gothic feminist reimagining of Great Expectations. So Jenny and Dan, the incredible women I work with, got dressed up into Victorian garb. We walked down the South Bank, giving out copies of the book. Like, that's how far we go for our books. So,
they actually got Victorian diseases, didn't they?
They did. They got. It's terrible.
What was it? Leprosy.
Yeah, they got leprosy.
One of them had a nose off.
One of them
didn't they?
died of consumption, and it was so sad. But we go over and above. For
it was worth it, right? So the book
completely. So the book's done really well.
So basically, what you're saying when I say you could. Let's suggest anything in the world. You've just suggested your own company's TikTok.
It is a really great TikTok. It's a really good TikTok. What can I say?
I love it. You're just representing so hard. You've sold 2 books tonight already, and you've got 2 subscribers for the TikTok. I love it.
It's really hard. I mean, yeah, obviously. So I know this sounds really weird because it's not really to do with books, but I am really inspired by drag queens. I'm really inspired by the artistry of drag queens. I'm particularly inspired by drag queens of colour. So,
come on, give us some names.
So there's a really amazing drag queen based in London called Dosa Katz.
Oh, yeah.
She
love that name.
Absolutely gorgeous, incredible dancer. Absolutely pays homage to the South Asian heritage.
Incredible. Have you got any? Do you know any Essex drag queens or anything?
I don't, but obviously Cheryl Hole is Essex's most famous daughter, and then there's like a couple who I've seen a few times, like Saffron Slater and Violet Ruby. And
are they at Hot House Drag? Are they at Hot House?
I don't know if they're at Hot House. They're often at a canteen. I haven't been down to the Hot House yet, but
I hear it's good.
Yeah, I am definitely going to get down.
We love Hotbox here.
Yes,
Anything at Hotbox.
Yes. My gay friends have said that Hotbox is a lot of fun. So, yes, I will have to get down there.
Any more questions for Kesh?
No, apart from just thank you.
No,
thank
it's
you
my
so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming and chatting to us.
No worries.
And you probably think of a million things that you wish you'd said now.
Oh, my God. I'll come back next week, right? And do it again,
100%.
yeah?
Yeah. So, Sangita, what do you think? You feel like you want to read more books now, or are you going to
Definitely, I'm going to go and read this last
Brilliant.
Missy book. I have to. As I said, I'm not really a book reader as such, but for some reason, this last year, I'm having all these either people that work in the industry or publishers or authors. I'm following Nels Abbey at the moment. He does the Uppity Circle, and I go to that once a month. So
fantastic.
I feel that I'm getting in there.
Yeah, definitely.
So this has been amazing.
And what about writing? Tempted to write?
One bit at a time, Nick. One bit at a time.
I'm going to buy you a bag of commas to get you started, all right?
It's a firm no for Judge Robo-Tindal. I'm so sorry. It's a firm no. I'm
that's
sorry.
all right. Harry Potter got turned down by everyone.
This is very true.
The Bible got turned down by loads of people.
Listen,
and look where it got to. Yeah.
You'll have to die, and then people will rediscover the genius.
I'm willing to die for my art. The thing, remember, it's only one copy as well, and it's actually cast out of iron.
Oh my God! Well, this is true.
Yeah.
I know.
It's very heavy. Like Amazon are refusing to deliver it. It's going to ruin their business.
It's not coming on Prime, that is it? My God!
Well, it'll come on Optimus Prime.
Oh dear!
I think we've got off track.
No, he's not a train; he's a truck.
All right. I know. Listen, I know well who Optimus Prime is. Don't even start.
Right, you stop talking. I'm going to do the outro now.
So he treats all his guests. How rude! How rude!
I love it. This is why guests come on here. I think I've got what you got. The Barbados flu or whatever it was. Yeah,
it's on the floor. He's got to sup it up.
Don't spill it. Drink it.
I'm playing Download Festival next week.
Are you?
Yeah, I should be on vocal rest.
That's incredible, mate. That's so exciting. Are you taking the kids and Yannicka?
No way. Going there as a party.
Jesus Christ.
I'm playing to 10,000 people.
Oh my God, that's so cool, mate.
I know. It's going to be crazy.
It is. It's
playing twice
awesome.
as well.
Are you?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I've got to have vocal rest.
Yeah, you really will.
Get my beautiful voice ready.
Jesus. What time is you playing?
Thank you so much, Kesh, for coming on. Thank you very much for coming on, for coming down the hill from Great Baddow to City Sound here. And of course, we're in the City Sound studio, so thank you so much to Paul and the crew here for giving us the space. Thanks to Sangita for being brilliant again. Go on, you say something.
Thank you, Nick.
Barbados vibes.
I'll soon come.
And thank you again so much to NGDA. We've got Jaden here on his own. Doing an amazing job. Jaden just put on this brilliant Night Till Dawn event on Hotbox last weekend. Absolutely amazing. So go to the next one, check it out. What else we got to thank? Essex County Council. Who else we got to thank?
I think that's it.
That's Sangita is so horizontal today. It's unbelievable.
I think that's it.
Barbados vibes. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Subscribe to our Instagram, which is r.
You.
No. R. You.
Creative.
No. It is r.u.creative.podcast. No dot.
Let's start again.
All right, and you can get in. No, you're all right. That's all right. Do you want to do it again? R. U. Creative. Podcast.
Yeah.
No dot. See, that's even worse now. All right, so it's r.u.creative.podcast. Get in touch, obviously, if you've got any comments and questions and suggestions for future guests. We'd love to hear about them. So that's all. Bye.